Good morning, I'm Xavier Harris, and right now we are interrupting our normal programming here on WLTX Plus for a news conference from Richland County Sheriff Lott. Now, Sheriff Lott is holding a press conference to share new details about the Halloween night shooting near Blythewood, a chaotic scene that left 3 teenagers hurt. Let's take a live listen now at that press conference.
When they think of Halloween, they're going to think about getting shot, about bullets, the fear that they had once they were shot with bullets. But then look at all the other kids that were out at the bonfire in Blythewood back on Halloween. And even though they didn't get shot, just imagine how scared they were when you heard gunshots and then you see people running. And kids are running out of their shoes and leaving their phones and whatever else they got, and hiding under cars, hiding in the woods, going to strangers' house and beating on their door asking, can I come in so I don't get shot. That's what the memory's going to be for a lot of kids that were in Blythewood at this bonfire. Now, this was an out-of-control event. This was a very large event. No real number on how many young people were there. It's estimated from 500, and some people said 800. Just a lot of people, a lot of young people who were unsupervised, out of control on some things, using drugs, lots of underage drinking, just totally free to break the law, do whatever, and start shooting and people getting shot. So just think about that for a minute. That's what these young people and probably their parents are going to remember about a Halloween now for the rest of their life. 50 years from now, when Halloween rolls around, those 3 that were shot, that's what they're going to think of. The hundreds that were there, that's what they're going to think of too. So who's responsible? Well, parents are responsible. When a parent allows their son to put on an event like this and be present and know what's going on, allows it, participates in it, then that parent needs to be held accountable. And that's what we've done this morning. This morning, Kyle Johnson was arrested, 2 counts of contributing to delinquency of a minor and aggravated breach of peace. His son was the one that put it on, one of the organizers. He was there. Property belongs to him. He was present. He knew exactly what was going on. He allowed it to happen, so he is being held accountable for it. He was arrested this morning, and these charges, he'll have a bond hearing later today. He is the first dad that we've arrested. We started earlier this year holding parents accountable, making sure that just like I'm held accountable, just like everybody's held accountable for the action, parents are held accountable when they participate and allow their kids to do stuff that they shouldn't be doing. He's the 7th parent that we've locked up, but the first dad. I'm going to show you a video. I think the first video we're going to show is just one that we didn't show initially, just showing the crowd and basically how this was an out-of-control party. Just totally out of control. Next, we're going to show you is video from a convenience store. The shooting happened around 10:47. Deputies had already been out at 10:15 and they spoke to Kyle Johnson, the father that was in control of this, talked to him, told him that this party needed to be shut down. It didn't get shut down. 10:45, 10:47, somewhere in that time frame is when shots rang out. We know at least 20 shots were fired, at least, possibly more. At least 20 shots was fired. Kyle Johnson was there when the shots were fired. He knew people had gotten shot. He knew the chaos that happened afterwards. So at 11:07, That's not very long. He's not there. He's in his convenience store. That's him right here. These are kids from the party. And he is just casually in a convenience store buying some drinks. Could care less about what's going on in this property. Could care less that kids have been shot and it's total chaos. He's just there casually buying some sodas. You'll see the minute these kids are there, they still got costumes on. He'll start fist pumping them because they realize that they were all at the same place. There we go. There's fist pumps. Is that a parent that's concerned about what just happened at his house, on his property, with these kids that are shot? Does that look any concern whatsoever? I don't think so. That is not what a parent is. That is not what a parent should be doing. He's responsible for that party. He's responsible for what happened that night because he allowed it to happen. He was not a parent. So he's going to be held accountable. That's his picture. That's what he's charged with. Next you'll see, these are our victims. 2 females, 16 and 17, and a male 17, all shot. They will carry those scars the rest of their life because of what Kyle Johnson did not do, and that was be a parent that night. Now, I do want to thank those parents and young people who were there, who's come in and has talked to us and given us information. They've helped us out tremendously. As I said, the first news conference, we had parents who did not allow their teenagers to go to the party. We had teenagers who made a decision on their own not to go. But unfortunately, a lot of them went because when you put it out on social media and welcome everybody. So you had teenagers, you had people who were not teenagers that were there. You had quite a few people with guns. We're going to arrest every one of them that we can that was there and illegally had a gun or was doing the shooting. So we have not arrested anybody for the shooting yet. We're working on that. But I think it was very important that we addressed the parent, non-parent, that was there that allowed this to happen. So that's why we're releasing the picture and letting people know and parents know. Now, our goal is not to see how many parents that we can arrest and stuff. Our goal is just to get parents to be parents and do what you're supposed to do as a parent, not allow something like that to happen that happened on Halloween night. Know where your kids are, who they're with, what they're doing, not condoning anything that they're doing that you know is wrong. That's what a real parent does. Questions?
Is he also responsible for helping to provide some of the alcohol or any of the drugs that were at that party?
Not going to address that right now.
Can you confirm when deputies went out there the first time for the noise complaint, the deputies told him to shut it down? And
Correct.
he told the deputies he would shut it down, but it did not get shut down.
The shooting happened. The party didn't get shut down, then you had a shooting. The deputies were there and left probably 10:25 or so when they left. Said that if it was not shut down by 11, the sheriff's department was going to shut it down. And then 15, 20 minutes later, the shooting happened, and that's when everybody went. And then he leaves, casually leaves and goes to a convenience store and just buys him a couple of drinks, high fives, fist pumps some kids that were there. Not a care in the world about what just happened at his property. I think that really demonstrates his attitude about this whole situation. This one, I don't care. Well, we do. we care, and you're going to be held accountable for it.
When it comes to Snapchat flyers, posting an open address, what do you want parents to know if they see this flyer? Or what do you want them to do?
One, you should know where your kids are. I don't have any interest in Life 360, but it's a free app you put on your phone, put on your kid's phone and find out where they're going. They tell you they're going to Two Notch Road somewhere, and you check and they're in Blythewood. You ought to find out what the heck they're doing. Why are you in Blythewood? Why are you out in a kind of remote location in Blythewood? Know where your kids are. And if you're a parent and you find out something like this is going on, let us know about it. Now, we monitor social media, but just imagine how much social media is out there with young people. Parents will see it. Kids will see it. I'm asking kids, your life's the one that's in danger. Teenagers' life's in danger when they go to something like this. Unfortunately, it's very difficult to have a gathering of young people anymore that somebody's not going to pull out a gun and start shooting. Again, with the grace of God, we're not talking about 50, 60 people being shot and killed. We just, somebody's looking over these kids. My fear is that one day that looking over these kids is not going to be there, and we're going to have a lot of kids get killed.
Has he been remorseful?
I'm not going to answer that.
What's your message as you all continue to search for the people or person responsible for shots fired?
We're going to catch you. You're going to get caught. So, it'd be your benefit to come on in. If a parent knows that their child or teenager was there and they've got a gun, then you need to let us know and cooperate. You're going to get caught. That's just a matter of time before you're going to get caught. I think enough young people are upset about this that they're talking. This is their friends who got shot. This is, that could have been them that got shot. So I think young people are upset. Most young people are sick of this stuff too. They want to go and have a good time with their friends and enjoy life, not worry about getting shot. Be standing there dancing or talk to your friend and you get hit by a bullet. That's not what most young people don't want to be exposed to.
Do we know if he charged at this party, or was this a free event for anyone to attend?
Oh yeah, it's free. I think we put the flyer out first time we had the press conference on this, we showed the flyer. There's no charge. Just come. The world come. Everybody come. Everybody came. Everybody came. Unfortunately, too many people came with guns and then started shooting.
And just to make sure and clarify, he was the only parent adult on the grounds at the time this party was happening.
He was the adult whose property it was on. He's the adult whose son put this on that he was very well aware of. He was there. He participated in it. So I'm not going to say there wasn't another parent there because we're still working on who all was there. But he's the one that's being held accountable because this was his property, his son, his event. He knew what was going on. He was there when the shooting happened. He's the one that needs to be held accountable at this point.
And what do you want parents to know at a gathering with so many people, but there obviously probably was no security detail or any type of authoritative, unit to keep that party from getting out of control? What is your message to parents and kids?
The world has changed. It's not where it was 30, 40 years ago, where young people could get together and have events and not worry about getting shot. So yes, there needs to be parent supervision. There needs to be security. There needs to be somebody that's organized the event besides a 15-year-old. A 15-year-old organized this event with the consent of his father. And you see what happened. So parents, just be parents. It's not that hard. It's common sense. Just use some common sense when it comes to your child. All right. Thank y'all.
Yeah, and if you're just joining us, we just wrapped a press conference with the Sheriff Leon Lott, who gave an emotional update about that Halloween night shooting near Blythewood on Wilson Boulevard. Now, Lott started by saying that this is something that those teens are going to remember for the rest of their lives. He says every Halloween they're going to think about their friends who were shot. They were just there to have a good time. But now going forward, he said, even for the next 50 years, those children are going to think about being shot at and running for their lives. He specifically said that they were going to a party just to have fun and ended up running for their lives. Now, the sheriff also did confirm that there was a lot of underage drinking at that party, and he said that parents share some of the blame. He even announced that the arrest of Cal Johnson, one of the parents of the teen who threw the party. And he says that right now he is facing charges of contributing to a delinquent of a minor. And he is expected to have a bond hearing later on today. Now, Lott also said deputies actually spoke with Johnson the first time that they came to the home and told him that they needed to shut down the party, but instead it continued. Now, something interesting here, the sheriff also posted or showed video of the parent, Kyle, inside a convenience store just shortly after that shooting happened. The sheriff described it as him not having a care in the world about what just took place at his house. 3 children potentially were shot, and he said he didn't care. He also said that in the video, you could see that Kyle fist bumped another student, or another child rather, inside of the convenience store. He kind of compared it to them figuring out that they were at the same party, and maybe that they found out that the parent was the one who hosted that party. Now, the sheriff also confirmed that at least 20 shots were fired. And like I said, in that convenience store, he just kind of showed no remorse for what just happened inside or outside of his home. Now, the sheriff did say Johnson is the first father arrested in connection with this case, but he says what they are doing now is charging these parents for their child's actions. And he said they've arrested 7 parents overall, but he did say that Kyle is the first father to be arrested. Now, Sheriff Lott did thank the parents who came forward to help in this investigation. And he added that deputies believe several people at the party, they had guns. And he says that they will arrest them once they find him. Now, Sheriff ended by saying that the goal isn't to just arrest all of these parents, but he says it's to motivate them to be aware of where your children are and what they're doing. He says if you see your child, or if you have their location through the app Life 360, and they say that they're going to a party in one location and you see them somewhere else, call them and ask them, what are they doing there? Question your kids and see what they're doing. Kind of like just going back to the old days and just knowing where your kids are at all times. Now, of course, we're going to continue to follow this story. Now, I do want to let you know that all of this stemmed from the Halloween night shooting on Wilson Boulevard, where those 3 teenagers were shot, but they did survive. And investigators said at least 800 teens were there at the party, which was promoted on social media with the message, "We're here until they shut it down." Now, the sheriff did say that these children, they're also tired of going to parties or being out in the malls or doing anything and having to run for their lives. He says that these children are fed up and they are now speaking. So he says as of right now, they haven't arrested anyone for that shooting, but he does believe that because these children are speaking out, that they will find out who did that. Now, we're going to continue to stay on top of this story and bring you so much more throughout the day on WLTX. Of course, stay with us, and you can download the free News 19 app for the very latest development. Thank you for joining us.